I'm Matt Bishard with REIT.com here at Georgetown University for the Real Estate Luminaries event. Joining me is one of this year's participants, Mike Kirby, Chairman and Director of Research with Green Street Advisors. Mike, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, and it's great being here.
Now, we're seeing a growing variety of real estate businesses electing to operate as REITs. What do you think this says about the REIT approach to real estate investment?
Well, historically, the REIT space has been a place where non-traditional property types have incubated their way into becoming core real estate. And many years ago, healthcare real estate was not even viewed as real estate by a lot of real estate market participants. Self-storage, factory outlets, manufactured housing all fall into that same heading. That when they were first introduced to the public market, there was an outcry that, boy, is this real estate? And as it turns out, of course it was, and some of those sectors have been wildly successful. I don't know if that's what lies ahead for all of what we're seeing. I'm skeptical it is what lies ahead for all of what we're seeing. Some of this is a bit of a square peg in a round hole. And it's not really so much that it's not real estate. I think a lot of these property types are real estate. It's more the structure of the investment. And in many cases, there's more leases rather than owned property. And so there are issues with a lot of these companies that are coming public. But I think it'll all weed itself out, and 5 years later, we may have some winners out of this crowd and some new property sectors that actually thrive, and we'll probably see the ones that didn't belong here in the first place go away. I'm not too alarmed by it.
Now, another thing that we've seen a lot of news about is spinoffs. In particular, companies like Vornado, Simon. Well, what's your take on these spinoffs, and how successful do you think they'll be?
We're generally fans of the spinoffs. There is a cost, and there is a cost of being a small REIT, and G&A for a small REIT can be a daunting issue. But there's also a benefit, and the benefit of being focused. And in many cases, the assets being spun off are assets that could use some loving attention. And I think with the new management teams that are being hired to run these spin-offs, you'll see that. And I think it's something, a win-win most likely in both cases, where the parent company is now better able to focus on the primary parts of its business and not get distracted with the lower quality properties that can take a large amount of time. And meanwhile, the new management teams at the SpinCos have a chance to really do what's necessary and really focus attention on those assets that are spun out. So I think in the three big cases that we've already seen, all on the retail side, I think it's a good idea.
Now, you're in somewhat of a unique position, having spent many years looking at the REIT industry, kind of from that 50,000-foot view. You have a great perspective on that. What have we learned about the REIT business model? Is it a case where companies need to always strive to grow, or is it sometimes better to sort of play it safe?
No, I think as an industry, we are way too focused on growth. And I think the best thing a REIT can do is offer real estate returns plus. And that doesn't necessarily entail developing. It doesn't necessarily entail getting huge through acquisitions. You can do that by merely listening to the capital allocation signals the public market sends you. And by doing that, you can grow at the right times. So grow when you have NAV premiums, not grow when you really don't have a clear signal. Go play golf. And then when the signal goes the other direction and you have NAV discounts, shrinking is actually a way to create NAV and create shareholder value. So it's really simple, and I hate to make it sound this simple because I probably insult REIT executives by doing so, but be operationally great, don't use too much leverage, keep a focused business model, and listen to the public markets as to when you should allocate capital.
Mike, thank you so much for your insights.
My pleasure.
For more on this and other real estate news and analysis, be sure to visit REIT.com.